Hello, this is Bill Webb, aka Bill Indiana. Today I'm going to do my crowdfunding update for December 2021. I'm going to talk to you about the games that I backed in December, the games that I followed and didn't back, and the games that I'm still following that are carrying on into January, and then looking ahead a little bit at a few games that I'm curious about that will be arriving later in January. So if you're curious to see what I'm following on the crowdfunding platforms of Kickstarter and Gamefound, stick around. First off, I just want to give a quick shout out to Board Gaming with Education. And this is a company that runs an online store, but also recently had a kiosk at a local mall. And I went and got to meet Dustin Stotts, and he and his wife run this company. I've mentioned them in a video before, but it was great to meet him and was able to pick up a game. Since then, I've ordered some games from his online website, and he sent me this shirt. So just wanted to give him a quick shout out and thank you for the shirt. Thank you for your good service as a good company. And I'll put a link down below for his business if any of you are interested in checking out ordering some games from Board Gaming with Education. All right, so in December, in terms of the crowdfunding projects that I backed, none. It was after a rough November backing quite a few games and spending a lot of money. December had to tighten the belt quite a bit. And there were a few games that I was interested in. I'll talk about those, but none that I'd backed. So I'd mentioned this game before, Heroes of the Shire, and it actually ended December 9th. I was really interested in backing this, and I was right down to the wire. My good friends, Better Half Reviews, Bryce and Allison, have talked to me about the game, and it sounds really good. Hopefully sometime I'll get a chance to play with them, but at this point, haven't had a chance to. So, and looking forward to maybe trying this out in the future, but did in the end choose not to back this one. Does sound like a pretty interesting game, though. All right, next up. I also followed 3 new Valeria-Universe games, and those didn't really pan out for me either. They had some interesting games as a combination where I had some trick taking, some roll and write, some tower defense games, and I was going back and forth. Should I back one? Should I back two? And in the end, I just decided for now, I'm not going to back any. We'll see if they come to retail. Maybe I can pick them up as in a trade later or something like that. Very interesting games. Interested in trying them out in the future, but for now didn't choose to back them. Another one that I followed was Harakiri Blades of Honor, and this is one by Synergic Games that looked really great. The miniatures look really cool. The play style looked pretty interesting. In the end, though, I decided not to back it. I usually am drawn into Asian-themed games, and this one was no exception, but in the end, I just decided that the cost for this game wasn't really in the budget right now, is as good as it sounded. So cooperative campaign game as well. I've got quite a few cooperative campaign games on the shelf that I'm still trying to get through. Seventh Continent, Sleeping Gods, Role Player Adventures. So didn't feel like it was worth the time or money for now for me, but it does look like a great game. Hopefully in the future I'll get a chance to play. And the last one that I was watching but did not back was Weather Machine by Vital Lacerda. I was actually planning to play Kanban EV today with our gaming group, but someone in the gaming group fell ill, and so we weren't able to do that. But I still haven't played a Lacerda game, but looking forward to the opportunity in the future. Was really tempted to go in and buying this one, but having never played any, I didn't want to spend that much money on a game that I know might be on the heavier side in terms of my preferences. And I was just worried that I might spend that money and then not really get it to the table much. So I'd like to play a Lacerda game first before I put that kind of money into a game. So now, what are the games that I'm still following? Now, this one's kind of a cheat because this one isn't available anymore on Kickstarter. It actually ended in November. But I was very curious and almost backed this one. There were just so many great games in November, I couldn't squeeze this one in as well. But since then, I've talked to Marcel Kohler and his crew, and they've talked to me about the fact that you could late pledge up through February. So I'm going to kind of see how the budget goes here in January. We had some family changes, so our budget is different, and my game spending is going to have to trim down at least for the next 6 months. So with those changes, we'll see. I am very curious about this game, and there's a really strong possibility I will be going to late pledge. I wanted to show it too that there is a late pledge link here. So if you're interested in this one, you could still late pledge it. Check this out. I'll put links for all these down below. Now, some that are still active, this one's on Gamefound, Palaces of Carrara, the 2nd edition. I've never played the original classic Kramer and Kiesling game, but this one sounds really interesting. I've watched a lot of different videos. I love those deluxeified games. And I tend to like this level of game in terms of complexity. I think it's going to be right about that correct level. Still watching it, but this one is a 75 euro investment. Now, I have considered going in and looking at the membership that you can get with the company. And if you buy it with that membership, then you do save quite a bit of money. And you'll also save a discount on any games that they put out through Gamefound or Kickstarter in the next year. You also get a discount on the games they have on their website, which includes Stroganoff, which I'm very interested in as well. So I might end up going that route. And here's where it talks about that. The Palaces of Carrara is only 56 euros for subscribers. So if you're not a subscriber, you can go to gamebrewer.com and subscribe, and you get a plus a 25% discount on everything on the website. So if you're curious about that and you're curious about this game, you may want to check this out. I'll put a link for this one down below, as well as all the other games. Another one that I'm following is Call of Kilforth, a fantasy quest game. Ends in 5 days. This is done quite well. I'm not sure if this is the kind of game that I would get to the table very much. I haven't played any of the Kilforth games. I know there's a big series of them. It sounds interesting, but it's very card-driven fantasy quest. I could see maybe myself playing this solo, but again, I have a lot of games I think kind of like this on the shelf that I need to get to the shelf, and my shelf of opportunity has exploded. So I'm kind of holding back on anything that's sort of fringe for me. As beautiful as this looks and as interesting as this looks, I think I'll probably hold off for now. But I would love to try this sometime. So I'm still watching, and I still got a few days to make that final decision. Love the art, love the theming. I think it's a game I would enjoy. But again, I'm just concerned that this might end up getting on the shelf and be like several others that I just don't seem to find to get the time to get them to the table. So probably holding off on this one, but it is beautiful. So check it out if you're interested in the Call of Kilforth. All right, now the games that I'm looking forward to that are on the horizon. The first one, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. Ahau. Rulers of Yucatan. I'm pretty sure I got that right. So Aperon Games. This one I've been following a lot. They show a lot of information on their Facebook page. This game looks really interesting. On their website here, you can see that it's scheduled to come in January, February. So I think February 2022 is what they're scheduling. So it may be a little bit further down the road. But check this one out. I'll have links to both this page and the Kickstarter page if you want to be notified on launch. Looks beautiful. We've got different kinds of player movement. The components look incredible. Yeah, so interested in this one, and I'll definitely be anticipating this one when it comes to Kickstarter, it looks like in February. One that's probably going to come a little bit sooner, Gaijin by Awaken Realms on their Awaken Realms Lite. You can also click to follow this one on Gamefound. And just been hearing a few people talk about this cyberpunk adventure game. I mentioned this one last month as well. I think this one is one that I'll definitely check out. The art looks pretty interesting, and just the different things they're showing here on this preview page make me very curious. So this is one that I'll definitely be checking out. It's probably going to launch in January from what I've heard. Next up, Rumors and Legends. And this is one that I originally heard about on Facebook. They were talking on Facebook about the game, talking about how the game plays, reimagining a classic mystery deduction genre, trying to crack the case and write your name in the history books. It sounds really interesting, and I think kind of take on using different sort of monsters and cryptids and things like that. Sounds pretty intriguing, so definitely going to be checking this one out. The thought is it might be coming out in January or February on Kickstarter as well. And so got a link here to their website. I'll put that down below. Next up, we've got Blazon, which is scheduled to come out in January on Kickstarter. And this is one, it sounds interesting. It's about heraldry. So it makes me think of that movie, drawing a blank on the name of the movie, where we had the character that was the herald for the night. A Knight's Tale. Yeah, that was, I love that movie. And just, so the heraldry here, there's some pretty cool pieces here as you look at the pictures on boardgamegeek. And so here are some of the nice quality components it looks like will come with it. Interesting drawing, I think your crest, heralding your family. So yeah, it looks pretty interesting. So I'm curious to try that out or check that out when it comes. And the art on the box cover just looks really eye-catching as well. So here's a few more pictures you can find on BoardGameGeek. There we go. Here is the link to the Notify Me on Launch. So I'll put that down below as well. The next one up is Ostia, Ostia, a Mancala system Euro game for 1 to 4 players. Looks pretty interesting as well. I won't show too many pictures here because it's actually a video. I'm not going to show the whole video, but show you a few seconds of that video. You can see some of the pieces that they're showing here and highlighting actual pieces, not just video imagery or generated imagery. So here's the video I found. I'm just going to show you a few seconds here. So as you see, they're going to be doing trading, and there's a Mancala style action with these ships, I guess, or something else on the board. So I'm definitely curious to see when this one comes out to Kickstarter. I think that's all I'll show you for now. I'll put a link down below if you want to check out this game, at least this video, before the Kickstarter comes to life. Feel free to do so. So let me go ahead and pause this, and let's back out of that video. And then again, we'll have a link for this here. You can be notified on launch for this one as well. Develop the Harbor of Ancient Rome, 2 to 4 players. Now this next one actually was a game that I mentioned in November. It was on Kickstarter in November, Jiangnan, Life of a Gentry. I'm not exactly sure how you pronounce that. Worker placement and action tile bag building game. Just played my first bag building game, Lions of Lydia, recently and won a copy of Orleans, so I'm excited to try that soon. But after getting a little taste of it in Lions of Lydia, I'm curious to try some more. So I'm excited that this one's coming back in January, it looks like. This is the original page. You can see the funding was canceled back in November. Postponed here to January 2022. So I think it's going to be launching in the next few weeks. Moedes Game Design, or Moedes, I'm not sure how you pronounce that. But this one looks really beautiful. And I mentioned earlier, Asian themes tend to draw my attention. Living in Asia all those years, I guess maybe just and visiting a lot of different countries while we were living there, just always kind of catches my attention. So worker placement, area control, action and drafting, and bag building for 1 to 4 players. So if you're curious, check this one out as well. The next couple are games that are already in existence, but some expansions. So Keeper of the Keys. This is an expansion for Viscounts of the West Kingdom by Garfield Games. And Viscounts, I haven't played Paladins yet, but of the 2 that I played, Viscounts is definitely my favorite in that West Kingdom series. I'm excited to try Paladins, but haven't had a chance yet. And this Keeper of the Keys, as well as Gates of Gold, are expansions that are coming to Kickstarter. So the Kickstarter page, you can see it's going to be both at once. And so instead of just one expansion, talking about both, and I think a big box option as well. So this will be coming soon in January. Definitely going to be checking this one out. And the last one is a reprint, and there's no Kickstarter page that I've been able to find yet. I think it is Kickstarter, not Gamefound, but not 100% sure. But Granja Deluxe Master Set. I've not played the original game. This is one by Board and Dice, and I think it's going to be a beautiful production. I don't know what the cost is going to come out, but I think it is also coming in January. It's based on the 2014 game and a classic game. I have played the dice version of La Granja, and that is, I enjoyed it. I didn't love it, so I don't know. We'll check on this one. I'd love to find someone who has this game so I could maybe have a chance to play it before the original, before I jump into this Deluxe Master Set, but hoping to check this Kickstarter out when it comes live, probably in January. So there you have it. Didn't back anything in December, but did follow a handful of games, and I'm still following a few that'll be ending up in the next week or so. Also anticipating quite a few that'll be coming up in January and February. So hopefully the information from this video was interesting for you. If it was, I'd love it if you'd give it a thumbs up down below. And it'd be terrific if you'd also choose to subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in any of the games that I mentioned, make sure you leave a comment down below and tell me which ones draw your interest the most. And if you backed anything in December or are really highly anticipating something coming in January, let me know about that in the comments down below as well. As always, thanks for watching. This is Billy, Indiana, signing off.